Rescue and Resurface Painted Paper Countertops is a very easy to apply, do-it-yourself countertop resurfacing system. It has the look of granite or stone with a very unique look of its own. The painted paper is handmade. The variations from the hand-painted effects and the subtle overlapping of each piece of hand-painted paper creates an absolutely stunning look when applied to countertops. There are many amazing colors in two collections, the Marble and Stone collection and the Metal and Metallic collection. The durability of the finished system is amazing. It offers a tough, cleanable surface with superior scratch, stain, and mar resistance. Hard to believe a painted paper top can be so strong. Rescue and Resurface Painted Paper Countertops are do-it-yourself friendly and designer beautiful. There are no special skills needed, and it does not require an expensive contractor for application. Rescue and Resurface Painted Paper Countertops is the perfect fix for old, worn, and outdated countertops at a fraction of the cost of granite, quartz, marble, or stone. It is also environmentally friendly because you do not have to remove and dispose of the existing countertops. The painted paper countertop system goes right over existing laminate countertops with just a little preparation. With this easy resurfacing kit and a few extra tools, you can resurface your existing countertop in 4 easy steps and in just 1 weekend. Painted paper countertop system is not just for countertops. It can also be used for backsplashes, tabletops, bar tops, furniture tops, and more. The Rescue and Resurface Painted Paper Countertop Resurfacing Kit comes with all the paper and liquid materials needed. All colors can be viewed on the website at www.papertransformations.com. Individual samples are also available to purchase of any or all of the colors. Before ordering, be sure to measure your countertop. Measure all surfaces to be papered, including the tops, sides, and edges. Measure the length by width of all the tops, all the sides, and all the edges in inches. For accuracy, we recommend measuring in inches and then converting to square foot. Do not leave out any areas to be resurfaced. This will ensure you purchase enough material to complete your project. Painted paper countertops are available in a variety of kit sizes. The painted paper countertop kit includes designer hand-painted paper in the color you choose, bonding primer base coat, paper adhesive, Durasealer top coat Part A, Durasealer activator Part B, and the plastic smoothing tool. Here are the additional tools and materials you will need for your painted paper resurfacing project. These tools and materials can be purchased at your local paint and hardware store. A 4 to 6 inch mini roller handle, a 4 to 6 inch 3/8 or 1/2 inch nap mini roller cover, a 4 to 6 inch lint-free mini smooth surface roller cover, a mini roller pan, stir sticks, metal straight edge or metal yardstick, snap-off razor knife, cutting mat or smoothboard, sanding sponge, paintbrush, liquid household cleaner, and rags. For safety, be sure to use the following items: protective eyewear, a dust mask, and disposable rubber gloves. For protecting the surfaces not to be papered, you will also need the following items: drop cloths, pre-taped plastic covering, and blue masking tape. Be sure to have all of these items ready before getting started on your project. You can also view written instructions, materials lists, and see our frequently asked questions and answers at papertransformations.com. It is recommended to read the website and watch the video before starting your project to familiarize yourself with the complete painted paper countertop resurfacing system and process. This is the easiest to use, hassle-free system on the market, and it is very fun to apply. It is also very forgiving and nearly impossible to mess up. On your existing laminate countertop, small scratches, burn marks, or blemishes will be easily covered with the painted paper system and will not require any additional preparation. Deeper scratches, holes, or cracks should be filled with a patch filler, and all loose laminate should be re-glued with a laminate glue. Patching materials and glue can be found at your local paint and hardware store. Be sure to scrape and remove all old caulking from around the sink edge before starting the project. For best results, remove the sink so you can clean, prime, and apply the paper and sealer top coat under the sink edge areas. If you do not wish to remove the sink, you can simply loosen and lift the sink edges, and be sure to apply the primer, paper, and sealer underneath of the sink edge. Failure to do so will result in water getting under the edge of the paper and could cause premature lifting of the painted paper. Next, cover and protect the cabinets with a plastic covering. Cover floors with drop cloths to protect from any spills. If applying the painted paper resurfacer on the backsplashes, be sure to tape the edges of any exposed cabinets before priming. It is best to keep children and pets away from the project while working. The painted paper countertop do-it-yourself resurfacing system is done in 4 easy steps. The steps can be completed over a 3-day period. You can accomplish step 1 and step 2 on a Friday after work, apply step 3 a full day on a Saturday, and then finish the last step 4 on Sunday. And in just 1 weekend, you will transform those ugly countertops into countertops that are simply breathtaking. When starting your painted paper countertop project, it is important to follow safety precautions. Be sure to use protective eyewear to avoid contact of any liquid materials with eyes. Wear plastic gloves to avoid skin contact. Lightly sand the existing countertop surface using a medium grit sanding block. Next, clean the existing countertop surface using a standard household surface cleaner, a rag, and a scrub pad, then let dry. Be sure to remove any dust, dirt, grease, or food. This will ensure proper adhesion of the painted paper resurfacing system. You can now start step 2. Prime the existing countertop surface with a specially formulated water-based bonding primer base coat. Use a mini roller frame and a 4 to 6 inch lint-free smooth surface roller cover to apply the base coat. Use a paintbrush to brush in any corners or edges. Be sure to prime the under edge of the countertop as well. Clean all tools after finished. The bonding primer base coat will bond and adhere to the existing laminate countertop surface and provide the perfect foundation for the painted paper to adhere to. After drying overnight, you can move on to step 3. The painted paper is hand painted on large pieces of paper. After painting, it is factory torn into smaller sections of approximately 2 foot by 2 foot pieces, then rolled together for shipping. Upon receiving the painted paper, remove the paper from the container, then unroll it and lay flat so it relaxes. When tearing the painted paper, the preferred method is to pull with equal pressure from both hands to get a nice, crisp, torn edge. The paper can also be torn by holding the paper steady with one hand and pulling the paper away with the other hand. This will leave a stronger torn edge on the paper. The painted paper has factory straight edges when rolled prior to shipping. Start by tearing the factory straight edges to remove. Start tearing each prepackaged 2x2 piece in random sizes of larger, medium, and smaller size pieces. Even the smallest pieces can be used to fill in smaller sections. Stack the pieces of paper into piles of larger, medium, and smaller sizes to organize. The existing edges of the countertop, areas next to the cabinets, and areas next to the backsplash or walls will be straight, and you will need to cut some of the painted paper with straight edges. Take different sizes of the torn paper from each pile and cut some of the torn pieces of painted paper in half. This will create the straight edges needed for the edges of the countertops. Cut some large, some medium, and some small straight edges and place into a separate pile. Start by cutting a few straight edges, then cut more as you go, only as needed. You do not want to create too many straight edges and waste paper. The remaining paper is needed to fill in the rest of the countertop. It is best to use a metal straight edge or metal yardstick for cutting straight edges. Cut the paper on a cutting mat or smooth piece of wood using a snap-off razor blade. The snap-off razor blade can be kept sharp by snapping off the dull edge often. This will ensure straighter cut lines on the painted paper. Use a metal square to cut inside or outside corners. Be sure to be very careful when cutting the painted paper. Pasting and applying the painted paper is the funnest part. The paper is applied over the top surface and edges of the countertop by slightly overlapping the paper. The straight cut edges are used for doing the outside perimeter edges of the countertop, and the regular torn pieces are used to fill in the center of the countertop. It is best to apply the pieces of paper like a puzzle by finding pieces that fit together with the least amount of overlap. There is no right or wrong way to apply. However, taking the time to dry fit the paper before it is pasted will make the process easier. It is important not to overlap the paper too much to ensure you have enough painted paper to do the whole area. The painted paper countertop kits are designed to allow for minimal overlapping, and the slight overlapping is already factored into the kit. When pasting the paper, simply flip the paper over, Then, using a 4 to 6 inch mini roller, 3/8 or 1/2 inch nap roller, roll the paper adhesive on the back of the paper. Be sure to paste the whole piece of paper and not leave any dry areas. Let the paper set for a few minutes after applying the paper adhesive to let the paste soak in and relax the paper before applying. To make the paper adhesive roll better, add a small amount of water to the bucket of paste before applying to the paper and mix it in. Do not exceed more than 10% water. Only paste a few pieces of paper at a time, or the paste will dry before you're able to apply the paper. Be sure to apply each piece of paper before it dries. When applying the pasted paper, apply one piece at a time. Start by applying small pieces of pasted paper on the corners of the countertops. Keep the corner pieces very small. You may have to cut or tear the pieces so they wrap the corner on both sides and top as needed. After applying the pieces of paper, flatten and smooth them down with the plastic smoothing tool. Next, paste the straight edges around the perimeter of the countertop until you have completely outlined all the straight edges. Wrap the painted paper at least 1/4 inch under the bottom edge of the countertop. This will ensure a better hold. Again, be sure to flatten and smooth each piece as you go, and flatten and smooth under the bottom edge of the countertop too. Fill in the remaining center areas with different sizes of torn painted paper as planned during dry fitting. When applying the pasted paper, place the piece of torn paper or cut paper down in the predetermined area where you had previously dry fit for placement. Start by positioning the piece of paper at one edge and move it around to where it fits best. Only lay half of the piece of paper down on the countertop as you position. It is okay to move the pasted piece of paper around. Any paste residue will be wiped off later. Once you are satisfied with how the paper is positioned, smooth that first half of the piece of paper down tightly to the countertop with a plastic smoothing tool while holding the other half of the piece of paper up off the countertop with your free hand. Now smooth the paper from the center out on the half that is on the countertop. This removes any air or glue bubbles under the paper by working them out to the edge. Continue to lay the second half of the paper down and smooth it down with a plastic smoothing tool from the center out to the edge to remove the air or glue bubbles under this half. Wipe your plastic smoothing tool after each use with a moist rag to keep it clean. This will help in smoothing each piece of paper. Now that the whole piece of paper has been applied, go back over the same piece of painted paper with the cleaned plastic smoothing tool and rework that piece again by pressing and smoothing from the center of the piece of paper, working out all directions to the edge. Repeating this process will ensure you move any remaining air or glue bubbles out to the edge so they are removed. It is okay to use a lot of pressure with a plastic smoothing tool. This will work out any glue or air bubbles, and it also smooths the wrinkles that are in the painted paper. After you finish applying and smoothing a piece of the painted paper, wipe the painted paper with a clean damp terry cloth rag to clean any remaining paper adhesive residue from the surface. Repeat this step after each piece you apply. Again, constantly wipe your plastic smoothing tool clean and the paper clean after each piece of paper applied. Constantly check your work after each piece is applied to ensure all paper edges are properly pasted down. Be sure to clean your tools after finishing. To recap the process, it is best to dry fit a few pieces of painted paper to find positioning, then paste 2 pieces, then apply 2 pieces one at a time, starting with half the paper and then doing the second half. Repeat this process until all the countertop is covered. Be careful not to lean on any wet pieces of paper you have previously applied. After finishing the application of the painted paper countertops, inspect the surface for any remaining air bubbles, glue bubbles, or edges of paper that may not have been pasted down tightly. If you see any larger bubbles, carefully razor cut a small slit into the bubble and press down to smooth with a plastic smoothing tool. This should be done before the final seal or top coat is applied. If you see any paper edges that do not seem pasted down tightly, put a little paste under that area and smooth it back down. It is okay to have smaller bubbles in the surface as they will eventually dry and flatten out when the painted paper application has dried. Save any of the remaining paper in a plastic bag. The paper can be used for touch-up if needed in the future. Let the pasted paper dry overnight Then move on to step 4. When the painted paper has been pasted and allowed to dry overnight, it is time to apply the final DuraSealer top coat. Do one more final inspection, looking for any lifted paper edges, and fix if needed before applying the DuraSealer top coat. Be sure to keep doors shut, ceiling fans off, and any air movement to a minimum when applying. This keeps the wet sealer from attracting any debris as it dries. Pour the contents of the small bottle of DuraSealer Activator Part B into the container of DuraSealer Top Coat Part A. Stir for 2 minutes with a wood stir stick to thoroughly mix the two parts together. Let rest for about 20 minutes after mixing. Throw away the DuraSealer Activator Part B small bottle and cap. Do not recycle. For safety precautions, be sure to use protective eyewear and avoid contact with eyes. Wear plastic gloves to avoid skin contact. The DuraSealer top coat is applied in 2 coats, allowing the first coat to sit for at least 4 hours before applying the second coat. Using a clean 4 to 6 inch lint-free, smooth surface roller cover, roll a thin, even coat of the mixed DuraSealer top coat over all the surface of the painted paper, making sure not to miss any spots. When finished with the first coat, put the lid back on the mixed material and save for the second coat. After the first coat is dried for approximately 4 hours, apply the second coat in the same manner. The average dry time is 4 hours between coats, depending on the thickness applied and the humidity. The second coat must be applied within 6 hours of mixing. It is okay if the first coat is still slightly tacky when applying the second coat. Allow the second coat to dry for 24 hours before using. You can use your countertops with care beginning the next day. Regular use is okay after a 3-day cure. Be sure to clean your tools after using. Set any unused DuraSealer top coat aside. Leave the cap off the unused portion and allow the material to harden before disposing into the trash. Avoid direct sunlight as the hot sun will heat the surface and cause the DuraSealer top coat to dry too fast when applying. Cold temperatures or excessive humidity will extend the drying times. During winter months, warm temperatures must be maintained for drying. Once the painted paper countertop system is refinished, reinstall the sink if it was removed and tighten it back down. Be sure to caulk the edge of the sink with a clear, water-resistant caulking. By caulking the edge of the sink, you are also caulking the edge of the paper to stop moisture from getting under the paper and causing lifting of the paper. It is also a good idea to caulk any exposed edges of the countertop and backsplash. This stops any moisture from getting under any edge of the painted paper. Allow 24 hours for the final coat to dry before using. Maximum hardness of the DuraSealer top coat will be achieved in 7 to 10 days. Use countertops with care during this period and do not put any liquids or foods on the countertop. Also, do not cover with mats or appliances. Avoid excessive contact with water. Avoid sliding items across the surface. While the DuraSealer top coat is stain resistant, the best way to avoid stains is to not let items like mustard, ketchup, or similar items sit on the surface for any length of time. Immediately wipe up spills and do not let water sit on the surface. Always use protective heat pads and trivets under any hot pan or plate. Absolutely do not cut on the surface. Use protective felt pads on appliances to protect from scratching. The DuraSealer top coat is a waterborne, 2-component polyurethane specifically designed to offer superior strength and durability. When allowed to cure for the 7 to 10 days, it becomes mar, scratch, and water resistant and easy to clean. Clean the surface with non-abrasive cleaners such as soap and warm water often to keep clean. In the event that you would damage your painted paper countertop, it is extremely forgiving and very easy to touch up. Simply sand the damaged area with a sanding block to smooth. Next, apply the paper adhesive to the back of a small piece of painted paper that is larger than the damaged area. Allow the paper to relax for a few minutes, then apply the paper over the damaged area and smooth with a plastic smoothing tool. Allow the patch over the damaged area to dry overnight. Then top coat with the sealer top coat for small surfaces available on the website at papertransformations.com. In the event you see any edges lifting over time, it is generally caused by edges that were not caulked or sealed properly. Simply re-glue under the edge of the lifting piece and smooth. Let dry and top coat that area with the sealer's top coat for small surfaces. Congratulations! You have just resurfaced your countertop with the most amazing countertop resurfacing kit on the market, the Rescue and Resurface Painted Paper Countertop Resurfacing System. Now you're ready to enjoy your countertop for years to come. If you have further questions and for technical support, please visit papertransformations.com or call the Painted Paper Countertops product support line at 877-393-7625. If you would like to consider Rescue and Resurface Painted Paper Countertops as a business, please call the training line at 844-727-3748.